We live in a world awash in lies. Dishonesty has become so pervasive, so deeply ingrained in our institutions that it barely elicits a raised eyebrow. From politicians to CEOs, the line between truth and fiction has become blurred, leaving a trail of broken promises and shattered trust in its wake. This essay will explore the rampant dishonesty plaguing our politics, corporations and culture. It will delve into specific examples of deception and their impact on public trust. Ultimately, this essay will serve as a call to action, urging for a return to honesty and integrity in all facets of society. This isn't about little white lies or harmless exaggerations. We're talking about blatant falsehoods, spun narratives and outright deceit, all deployed to manipulate, mislead and maintain power. Remember when politicians were shamed for lying? Those days seem quaint now, a distant echo of a time when accountability still had teeth. Now it's just noise, a constant hum in the background of our lives. We've become desensitized to the stench of it all, but here's the thing, we can't afford to become numb to this. The erosion of trust has far-reaching consequences. It undermines our democracy, cripples our economy, and poisons our social fabric. It's time we shine a light on this epidemic of dishonesty and demand better. Let's start with the clowns running the show, our elected officials. Politics has always been a dirty game, but the current level of dishonesty is truly breathtaking. Politicians lie about their policies, their records, even their personal lives, and the worst part, they often do it with impunity. Surveys paint a grim picture of public perception. According to a recent poll, 72% of Republicans believe the Democratic Party is more dishonest, while 64% of Democrats hold the same view about Republicans. This partisan divide highlights the deep mistrust that permeates our political discourse. It's no longer a matter of disagreeing with opposing views, it's about questioning the very integrity of those who hold them, and the data backs up this perception. Fact-checking websites like PolitiFact have meticulously documented the lies and misleading statements uttered by politicians. Their findings are stark. During the 2016 to 2021 period, Republican statements were rated as false 55% of the time, compared to 31% for Democrats. This pattern of dishonesty erodes public trust and undermines the very foundations of our democracy. Remember George Santos, the guy who lied about, well, pretty much everything to get elected to Congress? He's just the tip of the iceberg. And the sad reality is, most politicians who get caught in a lie face minimal consequences. A slap on the wrist, a carefully worded non-apology, and it's back to business as usual. But hey, it's not just politicians who have a monopoly on dishonesty. Corporations are right up there with them, peddling their own brand of deception. From false advertising to shady accounting practices, these companies prioritize profits over principles, leaving a trail of victims in their wake. Remember Enron? Of course you do. It was only the biggest corporate scandal of the 21st century. This energy giant cooked the books, hiding billions in losses and deceiving investors and employees alike. The result? A spectacular collapse that cost investors billions and put thousands of people out of work. And don't think for a second that corporate greed is a relic of the past. Just look at the insurance industry in the wake of the recent hurricanes. Homeowners filed claims, desperate for help, only to be met with denials, delays and downright deceit. One audit found that 14 insurers refused over half of the claims filed in 2024. Universal Property and Casualty, one of the worst offenders, was forced to return $30 million for filing phony storm claims. They were literally trying to profit from natural disasters. This isn't just about numbers on a balance sheet. It's about real people losing their homes, their livelihoods, and their faith in the system. You might think the government agencies tasked with serving the public good would be immune to this culture of dishonesty. You'd be wrong. Even institutions designed to protect us have fallen prey to deception, further eroding the public's trust. Take the FBI, for example. The very agency tasked with upholding the law has been caught manipulating evidence to spy on American citizens. The Justice Department's own Inspector General found hundreds of errors and missing documents in FISA warrant applications. These weren't just minor oversights. They were systematic failures that allowed the FBI to violate the privacy rights of countless individuals. Out of over 7,000 applications, at least 183 were missing crucial supporting files. This isn't just about bureaucratic incompetence, it's about a blatant disregard for the law and the rights of citizens. When even the institutions meant to protect us are caught in a web of lies, it's no wonder that public trust is at an all-time low. It's a dangerous game they're playing, one that could have far-reaching consequences for our democracy. Section 5, the rise of fake news and misinformation. And then there's the elephant in the room, the digital wildfire that's fueling this epidemic of dishonesty fake news. We're bombarded with it constantly, a relentless stream of misinformation masquerading as news designed to manipulate our emotions and sway our opinions. Social media platforms, once hailed as tools of connection and democratization, have become breeding grounds for fake news. Algorithms prioritize engagement over accuracy, creating echo chambers where lies and propaganda spread like wildfire. This constant barrage of misinformation has real-world consequences. It influences elections, incites violence, and undermines our collective understanding of reality. It's like we're living in a post-truth world where facts are malleable and objectivity is a distant memory. Section 6. The consequences of a culture of dishonesty. This widespread dishonesty has real consequences. It erodes public trust in institutions, fuels cynicism and apathy, and makes it difficult to address pressing social problems. When we can't agree on basic facts or trust those in power, it's impossible to have a functioning society. The erosion of trust has a corrosive effect on democracy. When citizens lose faith in their elected officials, they're less likely to participate in the political process. Voter turnout declines, political polarization intensifies, and the very foundations of our democracy are weakened. But the consequences go far beyond politics. Economic inequality widens as corporations prioritize profits over people. Social divisions deepen as misinformation and propaganda sow discord and distrust. We become a nation divided, suspicious of each other, and incapable of addressing the challenges we face. Section 7, the psychology of lying. Why do we deceive? So why all the lying? Why has dishonesty become so deeply ingrained in our culture? The answer, as with most things, is complex. There's no single explanation, but rather a confluence of factors that contribute to this epidemic of deceit. For politicians, the incentives are clear. In a hyper-partisan environment, winning elections often requires appealing to the base, even if it means sacrificing truth and integrity. The pressure to win, to raise money, to secure power can be intoxicating, leading even well-intentioned individuals down a slippery slope. Corporations, driven by the relentless pursuit of profit, often see deception as a necessary evil. Whether it's cutting corners on safety, misleading consumers about their products, or engaging in shady accounting practices, the bottom line often trumps ethical considerations. But it's not just about individual greed or ambition. We live in a culture that often rewards deception. From reality TV to social media, we're inundated with images of curated perfection, where lies and exaggerations are not only accepted but celebrated. This creates a climate where honesty can feel like a liability, a disadvantage in a world that values image over substance. Section 8, restoring trust, a call for accountability. So where do we go from here? How do we combat this epidemic of dishonesty and restore trust in our institutions and in each other? It won't be easy, and it certainly won't happen overnight, but it's a fight worth having. We need to demand better from our leaders, hold them accountable for their words and actions, support fact-checking organizations, and call out lies and misinformation whenever we see them. We need to push for greater transparency and accountability from corporations. Support businesses that prioritize ethical practices and hold those that engage in deception accountable for their actions. Vote with our wallets and send a clear message that we won't tolerate dishonesty. Most importantly, we need to start with ourselves. Be mindful of the information we consume and share, challenge our own biases, and be willing to change our minds when presented with evidence that contradicts our beliefs. Section 9. Conclusion, a brighter future. The road to a more honest and trustworthy society will be long and arduous. It will require a collective effort from individuals, institutions, and society as a whole. But the stakes are too high to ignore this crisis any longer. The erosion of trust threatens the very fabric of our society. It undermines our democracy, cripples our economy, and poisons our social discourse. But it's not too late to change course. By demanding honesty, transparency, and accountability, we can begin to rebuild the trust that's been lost and create a brighter future for ourselves and generations to come.